All right. Welcome. Thank you everyone for joining. This is the November District 57 deck. I am so excited everyone's here. We have a jam-packed agenda for you today. Look at all of this. So much stuff in only 2 hours. We are going to have a super fun morning. And I strongly recommend, we're recording this, please send this to anyone who needs it. Your chief club contest chair, your chief judge, your people that are going to be running your contest. We're having a whole hour just around contest training, ladies and gentlemen. So buckle your seatbelt because it's going to be a fun day. But before we get to the contest training, we have a lot of other exciting things, including a profit and loss. Wow. I bet you guys all wanted to get up early on a Saturday morning to, don't worry, Linda's got a lot of other fun things to go over also. So lots of exciting updates, but this is a view of the agenda. I might pop it up here and there as we go through the day. I'm Beth Bolhofer, your district director, in case anyone slept too long last night. I want to remind everyone about why we're here. We are part of Toastmasters International, and our mission is to empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. And I think you just have to turn on the news for a few minutes to see like, yeah, we need some more leaders, right? Some good leaders. And so this is the place to be. We're making leaders, we're making communicators, effective communicators. So this is the right place to be. And if you're just dialing in right now, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Our district mission, like what is it that we're doing here in District 57? We build new clubs, and we're gonna have some updates about that today. And we support all clubs in achieving excellence. So this is why we're here. This is why we're at the deck. We're the area directors, division directors, trio, all of our chairs. We're here because we build new clubs and we support all clubs in building excellence. And we actually have a new team member, which I'm excited to announce when we get to that point. All right, our club mission. So it's fun to be in the district, but what does it even mean? Like most of our time we spend actually in the club because that's where the fun is. So we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered. Yes, finally, empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. So I think it's always important to remember our why. Like, why are we here? Why are we getting up early on a Saturday morning, on a very cold Saturday morning? It's because we're passionate about helping people, supporting people, creating a positive learning experience. It's just a rare place to find a positive learning experience in our day and age. And our values, integrity, everything we do is done with this mission. It's not a numbers game. We're not trying to play a numbers game to get more numbers on a dashboard. That is not why we're here. We're here for integrity, to help real people grow their communication skills and their leadership. I think it's really important to always remember that. We're here to respect each other. Everyone has, we have the most diverse group of people. If you look at the gallery view, right? We have such a huge diversity, and we respect each other no matter where we come from, anything. We are so excited to have all those diverse ideas and opinions and just have so much fun with each other and respect each other. We serve. When someone asks us to help, we step up. I think the reverse of that is we remember to ask other people to help, right? When we ask someone to help us to serve the bigger mission, that is an opportunity for them to grow and to learn. So remember, service is why we're here. And excellence. And I think the really important thing with excellence is to remember it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? Perfect is the enemy of done. So as you're working, especially on leadership, your high performance leadership projects, don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. Let's get it done. Done, shipped. Shipped means that the members are able to experience the joy of whatever it is that we're doing. So excellence is amazing, but don't look for perfection. All right. So that's what we're doing. Oh, so fun. We couldn't possibly go on without just mentioning that there's continual phishing scams going on. I get messaged very often, almost daily, by people who are like, oh my goodness, Bet, I'm so sad that your uncle is dying. Please let me know where I should send the gift cards. And I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm never going to ask you to buy gift cards, ladies and gentlemen, never. In fact, Linda's going to remind us all about why we should never be buying gift cards if we want to keep our IRS non-for-profit status. Like, it's banned now. So I will never be asking you to buy gift cards. Always check the from, like, who's it from? It says Beth Bullhofer, is not. It's a spammer. So make sure you're checking this. Also, always email me at this email and not at other emails. All right. I just want to remind everyone that we have all kinds, we have so many Zoom accounts. So if your club, if you're running an event, you're running a contest, please email info@d57tm.org so that we can actually get you a Zoom. All right. I am so excited to have all these Zooms. So if you have a club that's like, we can't meet because we don't have a Zoom, we have Zoom. We're paying for this. So make sure that you are taking advantage of it. All right, I am so excited. I have a ton of celebrations right now. And I'm going to share a secret, because this slide deck was shared by a lot of people. So I'm going to now share a secret deck that is just called Celebrations. I hope everyone is ready for these celebrations to start. So what I'm going to do is I want everyone to go on gallery view so that you can actually see the people, because what I'm going to do is actually call up people to smile and wave. And unfortunately, I have like so many to get through, so we can't really like get a speech. But I am going to like, please smile and wave and go off of mute when I call you. Our first celebration for November is Lindy Sinclair. So Lindy's, what is the name of your organization? Lindy, go ahead and, yeah.
Kol Hadash.
All right, that I'm not going to even try to say that now. Okay, so they had stopped meeting because of the pandemic, and I don't know if she stepped up, but she got recruited somehow, right, to come in and start running their Shabbats on Zoom, and just touched my heart. And I was hoping for a picture, but we didn't have one. But Lindy, smile and wave at everyone. So this is amazing. Like, she's helping bring her group back together even during a pandemic. And also Lindy is our new Pathways chair. So that's like double whammy celebration. So we're super excited, Lindy, to have you on the team, and congratulations. All right.
I just sent you 2 more celebrations in chat. Would you like to mention them, please?
Can you read them? Because I have got too many screens going on right here.
So I'm celebrating my 30th anniversary of walking into a Toastmasters meeting as of yesterday, and my 4th DTM.
Wow. This is amazing.
Thank you.
4th DTM?
Yeah, I never intended to do that many. It just crept up on me.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is amazing. Congratulations. Woohoo!
Thank you.
Okay, this is great. Next celebration. I am super excited about this one because it's like a personal one. So Jeff is doing NaNoWriMo, and I think he's done it for how many years, Jeff?
18. Yikes.
18 years. And not only is he writing a novel this month, but he's also mentoring other writers. And I think that is so wonderful, like just paying it forward and helping. And he's at 27,253 words today. So NaNoWriMo is you write a novel in November, 50,000 word novel. So woohoo! Congratulations, Jeff, for doing something that's very cool and fun. Okay, next up, Division E. Garrett, you can come on and smile and wave. So in Division E, they've submitted 60 educational awards. That's amazing. All right. Oh my goodness. The next one, I'm so excited. Teresa Smith graduated and she got to tell me a little bit about what happened. Is her son was struggling a lot and they didn't even think he was going to even graduate. He was behind and he actually he's graduated, I think yesterday. So I don't know. I can't see you because I have too many things, but I hope you're smiling and waving, Teresa. Congratulations. Oh, this one's super exciting. Division H Director Catherine Chang got a promotion, associate to senior internal auditor. So congratulations. Anytime we get a promotion, like so incredible, so exciting. Oh man, this one is so exciting. Carolyn Douglas Solar House. All right. That is so, so stressful. Anyone who's ever done anything around the house stuff, it's like a real pain in the butt. But congratulations. And another exciting thing is, I thought I had this one right now. Okay. Yes, we have a new club. The paperwork is not 100% done yet, so it's not on the dashboard yet, but a lot of work has been going into this new club, the CA Public Information Officers. 30 new members, 30 charter members. So congratulations. And the inaugural meeting for the Leaders Worldwide Club was held last week already. And 51 charter members. Like this is ridiculously huge, huge team. Everyone smile. Linda, Michelle, I don't know, Cynthia's here. Guys, this is incredible, wonderful achievement. I'm super proud of everybody involved. A lot of exciting things. All right, this one's mind-blowing. Chuck has been going and visiting Toastmaster meetings all across the country, and he's done 48 so far. So 48 virtual meetings. Congratulations, Chuck. Woo! All right, Division B. Exciting things going on in Division B. Okay, I'm switching so I can see everybody. All right, 84% of the clubs have renewed membership of at least 8 or more. We got to celebrate. This is amazing. And 4 have 20 or more members. So congratulations, Division B, Mark Ventura. Oh, this one, sometimes you have to celebrate like literally anything. And in this one, it seems like fire season's over from Donica up in Division G. And I'm telling you, we are all, yes, this is worth celebrating. Very exciting. Okay, Division A has so many things, okay, so they had a meeting. That's always good. Stacy and Teresa had their first area councils. 3 clubs have trained all their officers. That's amazing. Bayfair now has 8. Oh my gosh, Bayfair is like always struggling. So I'm really excited they have now 8 members. 2 issues of the A digital newsletters going out. Thank you, Hannah, and several open houses. So very exciting things going on in Division A. Woohoo! And I think this is my last one. Okay, another one is Oakland Chamber Chatters now has 8 members. We have these clubs that struggle and we have to celebrate everything. So that is like incredible. So good job, Michelle and team. Very, very exciting. All right, so that is our celebrations for today. I am very pleased to now turn it over to Linda for the profit and loss. So Linda, if you could go off of mute and I scroll down to your section.
And bet you'll change my slides for me.
Sure.
Okay, thank you, because I don't think I have permission to do that. All right, so first slide. The good news is we received $15,000 plus in membership revenue. And this has to do a lot with the fact that we did a lot of our renewals early. We had a fantastic season with, have you 8 or more renewed early, you got incentives for it, and we got the money for it. And because of that, we look really healthy. We've only spent a little over $2,000 this year, or at least in September, that's all we had spent. And so we had a profit of $13,466 bet. So to give you a sense of where we are July to September, we have brought in $23,000 worth of renewals, which is awesome. We've only spent a little under $3,000 for the year so far. So we do have a $20,000 profit at the moment. I just got this last night late from Toastmasters International. They are running a bit behind in getting things like the budget up and our certifications for September, but they're working on it. This particular piece that I got that I can't show you right now, but it will definitely be in my reports from now on, is our actual to budget look. And to look at it from this same perspective of July to September, as you can see, we had a net income of $20,000. What we had budgeted was $11,000 because we didn't budget we didn't budget a whole lot of money for renewals, i.e. because that number comes from Toastmasters. We don't get to choose that number. They send it to us based on our previous years. So we're way ahead of what they predicted we would have in our account as of September 30th. So I'm really proud of that. I'm proud of what we've done as a district. So at the moment, we have a variance of $9,000 in the black. And that's really, really exciting, to say the least. But like I said, I will have these to show you starting next month, and we'll go from there. All right. The fun part, the part I just dearly love to do. As you heard, I have a Zoom video up that says breaking news. This came from the district. They wanted to be sure, and once again, I'm repeating this, that we are a nonprofit tax exempt organization. We devote our resources to education and our charitable mission. And so what they wanted us to be very, very clear about is the last three lines: cash and cash equivalents, including but not limited to, I love this, is very legal, it's something my husband would love, non-Toastmasters gift certificates, gift cards, and any other stored value products are not permitted. So those Amazon cards, the cards to Blockbuster Video, I know we don't have that anymore, cards to Visa, MasterCard, Starbucks, Pete's, we can't do those anymore and get reimbursed for them. So I just say, just eliminate this from your list of potential gifts. I did some thank you gifts for the wonderful people on my guidance council and my advisors and Speechcraft phenomenons, and I bought them chocolate. Our keystone is thank yous and chocolates. And I did it to a charity. Dove Chocolate actually has a charity that they donate money to. So I bought the chocolates through that side, gave a donation, and got some fabulous chocolates for the people on my committee. Think outside the box. I think we've gotten, how do I say, complacent. It's easy to buy a gift card. It's more challenging to choose something that will be of value to the person that you're giving it to. So that's my advice. So Beth, next.
Thank you so much. There's a few more things in here,
Things
Linda,
that we've
and
already covered.
Okay, good. I just want to say, I feel like chocolate is better than money. Maybe I'm just, I don't know, maybe I'm just, but I mean, you can eat chocolate, anyways. Okay, cool. Yeah, remember, you can never buy alcohol with district money or Toastmasters local club money.
Right, but you can get stuff from Toastmasters International. And you can get gift certificates from them,
Yeah,
but you just can't do cash loading gift cards.
exactly.
Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you so much, Linda. You made that fun. I really appreciate it. Now we're going to Ashley Harkness with the Train the Trainer. Ashley.
Yes. Hello. Good morning. And I should be coming up here in a second. So there we go. Well, thank you very much, Bet, for the introduction. And it's a lot of good news you've got for us this morning. That's really good. I appreciate that. Train the Trainer is coming up. Of course, it's going to be next Saturday. We're going to be between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m., as you already know. This is really kind of a challenge because we're pushing basically the 16 hours that we did last year into 4 hours and trying to keep the same kind of healthy training environment that's going to really make our trainers coming on that much stronger. A significant challenge, as you might already imagine, is the Zoom link. For the registration, we have a number of 117 have signed up. We know that that's probably not as many as will show up, but George Marshall reported to me in an email that this is an astounding number. And I think probably it is. We'll see how that all works out. The workbooks that Kevin Markle dropped off in my garage, moving from his garage to my garage, we're sending those out as a PDF file. And Smitha has already sent those out, and we'll be continuing to send them out to trainees as they show up or as they register. There are still many seats available for people who wish to register, so it shouldn't be a problem. We may even be seeing registrants coming in from different parts of the world, because I've been on different calls with and visiting various clubs, and there's a lot of interest in what is going on in the different districts around the world. So we don't know what's going to happen. In that case, it should be really very interesting. Can you maybe give me the next slide, please? One of the things about the staff of the trainers this time is that they're all skilled trainers. What's happening is we have a lot of people who represent not only Toastmasters, but also private industry and training needs that go on in there. So I believe we're going to have a more balanced view of how to put on training and how training might be improved, not just from the point of view of what's going on in our own organization. So I'm looking forward to that. One emphasis that I'm sure Lindy will be involved in, probably good news for her, is that while the speaker to trainer series of presentations is really kind of about all of the Toastmastering materials and things, it really doesn't address pathways in any way, shape, or form because it's an older presentation. So while we're staying with the presentation setup like Toastmasters has for us, we have adopted a pathways emphasis where we can, we're going to reflect how, yes, Lindy, that's good, how the training by the trainers should in fact have a backdrop of pathways and the effect there. As the directors, I'm sure, are already finding out from their clubs, wherever they're going, that there is still a lot of clubs out there and a lot of people who are still shaking their head and looking sideways at this pathways business when that simply isn't really necessary. But some people really have told me they would rather be led a little bit better. And we think maybe that emphasis can be important to the coming trainers in their training for later on. As I said, our staff is basically senior Toastmasters. We all have a lot of experience in this. Myself, I was a trainer for my corporation for several years, and I was going around all over the United States, having to use all the various skills that Toastmasters can provide to you to really keep people going, especially if you have somebody sitting in your class for 8 long hours. Now, I don't believe I have another slide after that, but let's take another look. We got, see what's going on. Oh, I'm done. So I want to encourage you all to come, all to see what's going on, and then fill out the evaluations and let us know what you think. Sure, Linda, you got a question?
Yes, the workbook. Are we doing anything with it prior to Saturday?
No, at this particular time, no, we're not. The
Thank
people
you.
will get it, they receive them. We probably won't be using all of the pages or the assignments because frankly, we couldn't push 8 hours into 4 and not ignore the second day that we had last year, which was fantastic. So the key here is there we are, we're doing that. Another thing is, frankly, with so many people coming, putting on rooms for this is going to be rather an interesting scenario. We only have one of them going at the moment, and that's going to be effective, I'm sure. But I want to thank everyone who's come and given us a lot of aid and support. I believe my time is up, but thank you, Lindy, for that question.
I'm pretty sure it was up about a minute ago. Ashley,
Oh, really?
thank you so much. Ashley, I am just so excited. Train the Trainer. I went to the last 2 highlights of the year. Highlights of the year. So much fun. I cannot believe what a good time it is. And the quality, the things I've learned in Train the Trainer, I take that right back to work and I apply it to make my own meetings much, much better. So wonderful job, Ashley. An amazing, incredible lineup. And it's going to be fantastic. I'm going to turn it out over to Lisa Fairchild because speaking of training, we have a Toastmasters Leadership Institute and Division Makeup training. Lisa, welcome.
We do, and we're so excited about it. So Donica, George, and I have been working for a while. So one of the first things that's different is that we're looking at TLIs and division makeup trainings as a whole and working very much cohesively on that. As you see, we have 2 TLIs. The theme this year is growing good to great leaders. We have the TLI Invitational and the TLI 2, which is in January. We have 3 division makeup trainings, which are all in the evenings. So we're offering a variety. I want to call attention to, because we've had questions, does the November TLI count for the DCP? All of these count. They are all club officer trainings. 4 club officers minimum ought to go. So we hope that they go to TLIs, but the division makeup trainings are there to make sure that people have the opportunity, the variety that they need. Next slide. The TLI Invitational, I'm going to focus today on that because it's right in front of us and it's the one that we really want to encourage people to go to. The first thing, it's different. What's different about it is right in the middle. It's designed for experienced leaders. We know that about 60% of our clubs have annual memberships, annual leadership terms. We also know that about 60% of our leaders have been leaders not only in their job before, but have been to 2 or more TLIs. So we're wanting to do something different. The design, when I talk about design, I'm talking about, we looked at inputs. We took the division initiatives. We asked club officers and area and district directors, what do you need? What's important? What do you like about TLIs? We also did some sleuthing around in the officer list to find out, for instance, that 10% of our leaders are not pathway enrolled, and another 180 have no awards at all. So we started looking at those things to say, what do we do about all that? So we put together a design team, and I need to just take a moment and say a lot of them are in the room. George, Ed, Donica, Dennis Dawson, Linda Patton, Kevin Markle, Lisa Ash, and Jasper Visser. And what we did is take all of these inputs and say, what do we do with it? And how can we offer something that's really different and engaging? And I will say that if our experience as a design team, where we threw out ideas and brainstormed and brought perspectives, is an indication of how this TLI will work, it's magic, because we're bringing everyone's voice in and bouncing off each other and growing. So what's different about this intentional learning, what that means is we are intentionally inviting people to say why they're there. Beth spoke at the beginning about what's our why. We're asking them to come to TLI saying, what do I want to get as a leader? And what does my club need? And how can I go to TLI with an eye out to find that? Because we know that when we know what we're looking for, we find it. We are learning from each other. Almost everything in this is experiential. We'll be doing lots of dialoguing and interacting as a group. We informative and interactive. You'll see on the next slide, don't go yet, is that we're partnering them up to be building blocks. And the last thing is we have a TLI workbook. It's something that we're creating that goes through the exercises. We're in each of them. We're asking them to come out with their takeaways. We're building on a thing that I do in coaching, which is expand, which is let's get data from lots of things on this topic and then focus it to what's important to me and to my clubs, and then with an action plan. Next slide, please. This is the schedule. And I want to call attention to a few things. One is that we have the opening and the wrap up from the trio. So one of the things that we're building into the whole process is wrapping everything up, is starting with an intention and then coming back to what do we do with this. The first thing we're going to do, digital marketing. That's what is going to make everything grow. Donica and Ed are doing that. Then we are going into breakout sessions by officer. They're very interactive. So we are not talking about the basics. So I know that there's been some questions about, can new leaders go to TLI Invitational? The answer is we're not turning anyone away. And we want to be clear that we are not covering the basics. We encourage them to go. They are definitely going to learn, but they also need to go someplace or work with their area director or someone else to make sure that they understand the basics as well. The 7 lightning talks is really, really 7 topics that have to do with what's in front of people, pathways, contests, leadership meetings, fun Zoom meetings. Really just, they're intended to spark interest so that clubs will say, oh, let me do that. And then we're going into a new thing that we're doing whole team. So we're going to do breakout rooms, and we're inviting them to act as if they're a whole leadership team. So not, instead of all presidents being together, this is all 7 club officers, and we will be giving them some problems. They're problem statements that are real problems that all of us face, and they'll be coming up with their best solutions. We'll bring back in the wrapping and ask them to share with us. And then we're going to wrap up. So next slide. Here's my ask is we want to fill, right now I think we have 80 people signed up. This is a great opportunity. I want you all to please reach out to your clubs. Let me ask the question. Who has already reached out to their clubs? George has, Lindy, I know Ashley, I know Tom did. So this is a great invitation. So here's my specific ask is I want you to not only reach out to them in email and however you normally communicate, I want you to personally invite 3 leaders. I want you to call them up, and I want it to look like this. Susan, I have noticed your leadership. Your club is doing great. We want you at TLI because you have something to offer. If it's a struggling club, I want you to go, really appreciate all the work you're doing. This is a great opportunity for you to learn to others. So personalize your call and then invite them to ask someone else. And I know my time is up, so I have one final thing is I know there's questions. I thank you for the questions. Please put them in the chat and I will make sure that I respond to all of the area directors and division directors so that you have the information. Thank you.
Wow, Lisa, I think that little last call to action is so critical. I remember when I got asked to be the president of my club and how, like, just that little thing, like, I see something in you. I think you are ready for the next step. And coming to this kind of more advanced TLI, like that, this could change someone's life. So please, everyone, really think about how you can make a difference, right? We're here to find our voice and make a difference. This is your chance. This little thing you can do is just talk to your leader. Say something like, hey, I notice you always blank, run a great meeting, are really thoughtful, make good eye contact, like whatever it is, just put it in there and say, like, I think you're ready for the TLI Invitational. So thank you so much, Lisa. Let's turn it over to Abe with our District Bucks program. This is a brand new program, everyone. And really, like, we're going through the learning pains and growing pains and things, but I think it's going well. So I want to hear from Abe. Abe, how is our program going?
Thank you, Bet. It's going great. We've got a lot of activity going on. Many clubs are really involved in this and they're getting tons of money. So they're going to be rich by the time we're done with this. Here's an update of since the last time I presented this last month. We've got 68 clubs that completed the mini success plan and received $20 each of district bucks, giving us a total of $1,360. We've got 11 open houses that have been held, and clubs received $50 each for the open house. We've got one club that actually had 2 open houses as of today, and definitely they got $100. So we have a total of $550 for that. We've got 94 of 151 clubs in the district that have received district bucks. So it's over half, probably looks like about 2/3. And so there's a great involvement and people have received $5,745. Next slide, please. So continue promoting, and this is for the division and area directors, continue promoting open houses because you can have up to 4 open houses before the end of our fiscal year. And the club gets $50 district bucks per open house. So keep pushing. Obviously, this helps with getting new members into the clubs. We have additional club incentives, and you can find those on the District 57 website. The first one is first 20 clubs to get 8 dues payments by the end of February. So I think the next due payment will be in February. And so if you can get 8 due payments before the end of February, and the first 20 clubs will get $25 district bucks. Then we have the newsletter contest. The best 3 newsletters in the district. So make sure that you have clubs that want to do newsletters and push them to do that. And the best 3 will get, number 1 will get $100, second place would be $75, and the third would be $50 district bucks. And this incentive starts next month, December 1st. Finally, we have the GEM goals, and you get $25 district bucks per GEM goal. So look at the District 57 incentive and awards page to get more details on all of these. Thank you, Bet.
I just want to really quickly thank you, Abe. Amazing job. I am just tickled pink on this. I want to remind everyone of, like, why do we have to do this? Why do we have to do this? Why do we get to do this? Because we used to give out money for running an open house or other awards in the form of a reimbursement. And it was obvious, like, you bought pizzas and now you got a reimbursement. In the digital world, you can use money, but it's not as much as $50. And we're really saying, like, use this money to do the Facebook ads, use the money to promote on whatever media you want to, right? That's what we want you to use this. But if you don't use all the money from that open house, $50, you can save it. And at the end of the year, maybe hopefully this pandemic will end at some point, you can then buy video cameras and laptops and microphones and things that you need to run a hybrid meeting. So that's the goal, is to save up your district bucks so that you can buy bigger, more expensive things, but you can use the money right now to promote your open houses. Lots of things going on in the chat right now around, can we use it for ads? I think next week, Linda, I've heard you say, next time we have DECM, which is not next week, by the way.
No.
We're going to do more about digital marketing, and also the TLI Invitational. There's going to be a lot more about digital marketing. So actually, this is a good plug for Ed right now. We have updated our digital marketing page, and it's got lots of tips and tricks. So like we said, if you're not using the money, like, it's going to go to waste. This is our money, our members' money. We need to use it. So make sure that you don't be shy. Get out here, run the open houses, earn these awards. These are easy to win, okay? Please take advantage of it. We're here to give away the money for valid reasons. Are there any questions for Abe or Linda or I around the district Bucks program?
If you have any questions, you can always send an email to awards@d57tm.org, and I'll be happy to respond.
And Abe, they also send stuff to me, especially around approving open houses and that kind of thing. So between the two of us, we can answer most of your questions as to where's your incentive, what's missing, and that kind of thing. And just to get you all caught up on what you've actually won. And both Abe and I love the fact that we get to put numbers up there, and it's exciting for both of us.
Yeah, give away real money.
Yeah.
We want to give it away, people. I don't know how we can make this more clear. Like, we want to give the money away. All right, onwards. We had this amazing extravaganza a few weekends ago, the corporate club extravaganza, incredibly well put together. Bill couldn't be here today, but I am giving his update. 93% of the people who went loved it. So this is amazing. So the message on this, I know there's a lot of text, but if you have a corporate club that's struggling, please reach out to Bill. He's here to help, and we're trying to help our corporate clubs. And also, if you want to start a new club, there was a lot of people on that meeting who specifically were there to start a new corporate club. So actually, that brings us to this slide, which I have personally been thinking a lot about starting new clubs. So when we think about starting new clubs, I think sometimes we sort of put on blinders and, like, I don't know what happens, but there's something that happens in our brains that's like, oh, I have to have certain things to be able to start a club. But I think working with George and Julie on the few things going on with Linda, like leaders worldwide, like, I think that thing blew my mind. The fact that they were able to pull together a cohort of people who are passionate about being leaders across the whole globe, right? I think if we realize we are now a global community, and all that limits us is our own self-limiting beliefs, right? If we think, like, I love, I don't know, baking, olive bread, I don't know. And you're like, I want to have a club that's all about baking olive bread. And you could find people from across the globe who love that. And every week you guys give speeches about recipes and tips and, like, things that go wrong. I want to come to this meeting and learn something, right? You can be super, super niche. It's called the long tail. And if you look at a curve, like that long tail, you can have a club that's just for that little niche belief system that you're like, I need to learn how to make the best loaf of olive bread in the world. And you can bring people from Italy, right? France. I'm really hungry, guys. It's only 9:43. So the idea here is that you can start a club that is specific for your niche. And what you need to do is, I think the Speechcraft is actually a brilliant idea. And the way I started my first club is also through a Speechcraft. You pull people together, get them used to meeting, and then you just say like, oh, and now we're just going to keep meeting, and you get them to sign the membership form. I know I'm oversimplifying, Linda. You're probably going to be like, that wasn't how easy it was. It was a lot of work. But still, like, if you want to start a club, just dig deep. What is a passion that you have that you really have a hard time finding people who want to talk to you about it? You're like, your spouse is tired of hearing about your olive bread, right? It's like, find those people, find your people, and then start a Speechcraft and then start a club. I think it's really doable. And also the other thing that blew my mind in the last few weeks is this California Public Office Information Officers. This is an association that already meets. They're used to meeting. They have infrastructure. They have a mailing list. They know each other. And they need a club. They needed a format where they could get together and work on their skills. It's like so perfect that I don't know why I hadn't come up with the idea and told the team to go reach out to them and get them to do this, because it's so perfect. So all of us are part of other associations, right? Like, you've got to be, like, Lindy is part of her Shabbat, right? We're all part of these associations. So the question is, how do we think about these associations and realize the benefits of Toastmasters for them? Recently, I've been going to my new Instagram, Facebook club, and just being able to talk with my fellow members, just being like outside of a normal work meeting. It's like, when is this due? You know, it's like getting out of the routine to talk and have fun in a Toastmasters meeting in a works format. It's just like, I don't know how to describe how wonderful it is, especially as we're all remote. We're so tired of being remote, right? So the club is just a great format for us. And that was my personal pitch. So I just want to share that with everyone. I did write about it in the newsletter, I think. All right, I'm moving into my next section, which is we are recruiting leaders for next year. And this is going to be 2021's term starting in July 1st. So think about it. Who are the people in your clubs that just are starting to show a little bit more initiative, a little bit more interest? And I think all of us have a problem sometimes, and maybe you face this in an office, where people see you in a certain role and they're like, oh, that person just does that job. Instead of like imagining, oh my gosh, what if this person could blossom and grow? And I think looking at our club members and going like, who could be ready to blossom and grow? I think sometimes it does take a little bit of effort to go like, I think this person is ready for the next step. So if you think there's people who could possibly be amazing area directors, or maybe they would be terrible area directors, but they could get a chance to grow and learn, because everyone starts off as like, I'm going to be a terrible area director, but then over the year they grow and learn. This is where leaders are made, right? It's not where leaders start off being perfect and just become more perfect. It's like, no, people are going to fail. They're going to try things. They're going to like struggle. And that's the joy of Toastmasters. Like, it's $7.50 a month and we can literally learn anything. So please take a chance and find another leader in your clubs to come and replace you as an area director, as a division director, because Kevin Markle is right now running the District Leadership Council, or leadership chair. I can't remember what exactly the DLC. Does anyone remember what the DLC stands for? I think it's council. So he's recruiting for next year. So please reach out and step up and find the next leader to run our district. All right, now I'm going to turn over to Ashley. Ashley is one of those special people who gets multiple times to talk in our district meeting. Talk to us about club coaching. What's going on, Ashley?
Thank you very much, Bet. What is going on? Well, actually, a lot and not a lot. So I have a lot to tell you and a lot that I can't tell you, because I'm going to need your help. But first of all, why don't you go to the next slide? I'll show you what we're talking about here. I like to look at what a coach needs in terms of a playbook. Now, as you know, I'm an area director this year, and I was a couple of years ago too in another area. And what I found is that as I visited my clubs that were struggling in my particular area, and a few others that I got asked to come and visit, it's amazing what they didn't have and what the club coach could bring with them when they come in to say, look, hey, you have a club leadership manual. The questions about how well you run the meeting, how well you have your officers trained, all of those things are right there. And what about that success planning? Because we already know if you don't plan for success, you know what that means. You're not planning. You're not going to get it. The whole point here is that, to me, what I've seen is that as a part of the playbook, a club coach can bring in not only the ideas of using things like pathways to really make them go, but also the experience from what they see in their own club and their own experiences. This is a very important part of the club coach program. But it also goes to the fact that the area directors make visits to these clubs. So clearly, we have directors who see that the clubs are weak and they need support, direct support. But the issue isn't so much that, because we know there's 57 clubs in the district that could use and could have a club coach. The question becomes, where are we going to find the candidates to be the coach, and how are we going to get them going? Next slide, let's go. Well, the fact of the matter is recruiting is a big deal, but part of recruiting is to tell them that, yeah, you haven't done this coaching before, and sure, you see the guys on TV and they're waving things around and on the sidelines of the football field. That's not what this is. This is about supporting the clubs, and you need some training for that. So for the last several months, I've been offering any new club coach to have some club training. We actually have a scheduled monthly training session. It's on Mondays, it's 2 hours. Anybody can come, and you can get the link without any trouble at all. And at this point, show them all the resources that are available to them, like how to rebuild a club. What is the best thing that you can do? Where is it going to go? Who they can talk to? Who's a former club coach that can help them out? Reach out to all these people and say, this is the staff we need for that. New club coaches need to be trained, and they need to have it available all year long because coaches are coming in all the time. Next thing is the recruiting issue. Area directors need to be looking in their strong clubs for those members who are looking for a challenge. Now, this challenge is not a sacrifice. It's a hopeful opportunity to go in and share the glory and the greatness of Toastmasters, and why not? I can't do anything in terms of helping coaches get trained or get assigned or anything like that until I have referrals. I already know where the coaches need to be going. I don't have a list of who wants to go. You can't punch a ticket unless you have something to show them. So I think I have one more slide, but maybe not. Let's see here. Yeah, go on there, yeah. So for all of us, I put it this way. The next plays in this coaching event, this coaching opportunity, is visit your clubs. Visit the clubs that are in your area if you're not an area director. Go anyway in the virtual world. Heck, I was visiting a club this morning from Wisconsin, and they have 8 members. They need help. As far as international directors and all the ID candidates, all is going on, just make sure you get them to help you out. Tell them where the soft spots are. You need it. And then as you visit the club, keep your eyes open. Who's showing up? Who's doing the teaching? Who's doing the training? Who's doing the speeches? How are they running it? This is a key to the people you want to approach. And well, as a district director, you all know how to twist arms, don't you? I think you do. And at that point, it's time to take your plan and run your play. Keep in touch with those people who are candidates and make sure they don't slip through the cracks because they're trying to avoid another responsibility, and here you are shining a flashlight on them. Thank you very much, and good luck in coaching.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, we have a very special section now. And remember, everyone, we don't have any breaks built into this meeting, but everyone's an adult and you can manage your own self on your side of the house. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Hans and Wing. And I believe that you guys are going to share your own screens, correct? If you guys
Good morning, everyone. I actually upload the entire thing over to your deck, so I could actually either ask you to advance or that I could request in remote control.
I might actually just have you open it up on your own slide deck if you want to. Just so you can go ahead and run it, Wing. Just, is that okay? Hey, Wing, try sharing. Let me know if you can share.
Let me try to share screen. Stand by.
And Ed is the current. Okay, there you go. All right, cool. I'll let you run this section. So Wing Lock, our district conference chair. Woo! Take it away, Wing.
Can you see my share screen?
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. I am not going to be as witty as all of you previous presenters because I know this is going to be a boring topic. And I'm looking at the participants list. I am seeing a whole bunch of you who have been volunteering at the beginning of the virtual contest, and of course, even when we had the in-person contest before. But I also see some eager new area directors who will be wondering, what in the world did I volunteer myself into this whole contest thing? So today, my colleague here, Hans Stormer, and I, Winglock as the contest chair, will be talking to you about a glimpse into this concept about contests, and hopefully that you get some idea into the gateway of why do we do it, which contest, when, where, people you're gonna be involved with, how do we do it, at least the first few steps, and into the world of judging. And at the end, we'll talk about tips and Q&A, some takeaway for people who have been doing it, to give to all of us to remind ourselves how to turn out successful contests, but also inspire our members and perhaps maybe a marketing opportunity. Those are, by the way, the screen captures of this past year's international speech contest and the evaluation speech contest. So why do we do contests? Just want to blast this through because this is a pretty huge deck. You get to learn about others. You get to learn about myself. And I have actually learned that, wow, I do have to need help. And I was glad to get help in the form of Dave died last year. And also he has given me the help of Kate Mills, Division I director. I was glad to help her towards the end of the contest cycle. I have been eternally inspired by when I was an area director, the area governor, that contestants like Michael Chong, even though he has left us, but he has still inspired me to, at some point when I don't do contest officials, I want to contest. You will get to grow. That's one of the things that I have learned in terms of handling the contest on the back end when we started the pandemic. I think I have a huge leg up on all the other people in my work, knowing how to use Zoom, but also that knowing how to run things on the back end, and it would give you a huge leg up in what you do at work or in your personal life as well. Think of also contesting, because now everything is now online. If you are able to organize your contest, your area contest as an event out, and we've been talking about doing a lot of marketing as well. If you can find community members also to help you out into making it into a marketing event, and of course in the low before you announce the results and preparing all the certificates, you can use that as a marketing pitch. And of course, we had fun, and I had fun, even though there was a lot of work to organize the last contest. And I had to thank Kevin and Beth and everyone who had pitched in the help. And of course, an after party. I'm sure we'll have after party. But for you new area directors, it is one good way to find new leaders who follow you and follow everyone else. But most importantly, speech contest, at least the international speech contest, is required by Toastmasters International. You'll be also expected to run your own speech contest. Granted, you only have one, which is in the spring. Unlike the old timers, some of us who actually had to run 2 sets of contests. So lucky you. Good thing is you're not expected to know everything. This is an open book exam contest. You can look things up, but you're expected to know where to find them and who to look for, who you can find that information from. So having something like this, it is a good place to look up, but it cannot be the only place that you look up. There's one book called the rule book. It is one of the places you want to look first. So which contest? Toastmasters International requires every district to deliver an international speech contest. And we are provided, I believe, 4 optional content, a total of 4 contests, and I think 3 optional. And the district decides to choose the evaluation speech contest. And it's because obviously we've been talking about pathways. It is an important skills that all Toastmasters should work to master. So I think that this is a good contest as well. And I do agree that we should have the evaluation speech contest. Now, of course, we don't have an international evaluation speech contest, so the evaluation speech contest does not advance beyond the district level. However, for the international speech contest, as you have seen in the online settings, you're able to see the international speech contest and the international convention. And I guess the website still says it's Nashville, Tennessee. I believe it's still August. We'll see what happens. And why are we talking about this now? Well, if you work the district contest backwards, you see that the contests are closer than you think. We have the contest in April, then divisions in March, the area in February, and the club contest probably sometime in January, which is 8 weeks away. And don't forget that you have holidays in whichever form, but holidays nonetheless. So you have to start thinking ahead. We are still keeping Zoom as I think the district's preferred venue for to run the contest. And as we mentioned, now that we have 9 district own accounts for contest related activities. So if you plan to do any dry runs or committee meetings, do let the deck know so that the relevant folks who control the district Zoom account can organize you something and schedule you for your time to use a district-owned account. Because as the district-owned accounts are higher level than the personal accounts, any personal pay accounts, that you can practice certain things that you not be able to if you are planning something like using a webinar style or even using high means such as using YouTube streaming that we've been talking about for a little bit or thinking about it. So we'll see. There's a village to plan a contest, and I'm sure that a lot of us are actually looking into the figuring out who is going to be helping us with the contest. You have contest chairs, and I highly encourage you have find co-chairs. Contest Toastmasters, you can actually have one for each contest in terms of international speech and evaluation. That usually happens at the high end if you actually have the separate the Toastmaster if you want to run the contest that way. Sergeant Arms, you may meet multiple, but there are definitely different requirements at each level for some of the more important roles that are mandated by the rulebook, and we'll get into that. This is table I made this year to illustrate, and unfortunately I'm trying to account for some of the visually impaired situation, so I'm trying to make it a little more readable. Looking at some of the roles that they are mandated to have minimum number of people. The clubs, they're saying that unless impractical, there are certain numbers of people that are required. Using the little caret, the little up angle symbol. The rule book says that you should have the minimum amount of people. And as you go on up on the area contest, the division contest, and the district contest, different requirements as well. But more importantly, at that point, at the division level, you are up against the restriction of having a chief judge, voting judge, and tie-breaking judge must not be a member of any club in which a contestant is a member. So as I talk about later on in the next few slides, we'll talk about why is it important to have a planning sheet. How to do contests. You can start by planning right now. This is November the 7th, and we don't have too much time. We have the holidays coming up. November short, December short. Before you know it is February, January and February. And this when is your time to shine to help your clubs and your areas to succeed. Also, teamwork makes a dream work. You need a village. You need a big team of helpers to helping you to succeed. So that's why the area directors is important for you to spread the word to the clubs. And fortunately, we do have a breadth of training and information that's available. And Toastmasters International has issued virtual specific, but also ongoing speech contest material that's available for you to take a closer look. What I mean by start planning now is there's one important thing that we both face is that I think Bet has acquainted you with the contest planning spreadsheets. If you have not looked at it, please look at it because it is going, wow, I'm glad that people are putting in the information on when they want to have a contest. I'm thinking, wow, 2021, that's still a long time away. It is not. So I highly encourage you to start looking at it and take a look at the parameters. So those are the parameters that the trio and all the other deck members care about is that we don't want to have conflicts. And also people is a finite resource that we need to take a look and see about schedule or training those people. We need to start thinking ahead of the needs of the contest, how to run a certain contest and who do we need. And that's why some of the information I presented. There is a number of people that you need. There are a number of trained people that you need to do those things. Also for evaluation contests, you have a need for, I guess I forgot to change it, test speaker. That's a proper terminology out of the guidebook, out of the rulebook. So you need that. For now virtual, we need to have Zoom and technical hosts. And some of you have seen that. Well, in the past, we may have to figure out how to do share screen or even put people in the breakout rooms. This is a Zoom function that all of us can practice how to use for our daily lives. Important thing about training and keeping track of who has been trained, and also the eligibility checks, whether they have met the educational goals, or if they have been trained in terms of taking a look into the speaking area and checking the equipment, or even your contest staff, if you train for the how to do the certain things and show the other contest officials that they can do what they said that they can. It's very important. Do not wait until on the day of the contest that you need to brush up some skills. Don't do that. And as we found out this past year, we do need to have contingency plans. What we need our contingency plans is that you cannot rely on having Zoom and the chat to be able to communicate. And what we've done in the past, this past month, well, I guess 7-8 months now, is to use the texting or texting the communication apps such as WhatsApp or iMessage to communicate to each other with other contest officials. Another important thing is having dry runs and practice session. That is an important thing. All those things need to be put in, the time and the dates, and that's why I start planning now by putting those information into the contest planning spreadsheet that is being developed. I understand that I think they're going to get expanded into keeping track of specific things onto the one that's out there right now. I'm sure that the trio that Bet will be letting you know what to do and which places to put in your information. You need a team, and you need a team fast. So having those days available so that it can help you find a team and also train them up. If you haven't found this out, you can recruit downward to your clubs. Find your successor. That's a good way to whoever says maybe or said yes, they are your potential successor as your area director and even your division directors. Take a look of them. Show them that there's life outside their own clubs. You can also help your fellow directors, and they should and they shall help back. I've experienced this when I was the area government myself under the Randy Ellington as the division director, and I've had so much fun. And that was back then in person and 2 sets of contests. Also now with virtual, you can now help across division or even district, even state line or country. So try to take a look and see those opportunities to have your division director or even cross division to help you out if that's possible, or vice versa. You help an area director that's out of the way, used to be, no longer because of virtual. Hans will talk about spreading the word to your clubs, but yes, what I learned as an area governor, ground pounding, email calls, now virtual club appearance to talk to them about it. Hans, so similar slides like this, but we have had a phenomenal success into developing virtual contest material. And once again, I have to thank Kevin and Beth for developing the information since the beginning of the shelter in place in California. The information there is a little bit dated since March, but they are still good enough to get clubs started on the virtual speech contest. So go visit that website and take a look, and we will be updating information if we have anything that's ready to deliver for everyone for any better information. How to run the contest? Well, now we don't have to worry about venue. You have the size of the venue, Zoom. Well, if you can bring a cup of coffee and you can have a good internet connection, you're good to go. On the other hand, for contest officials, we ask you to have a more reliable connection, but that we can elaborate later on. You do need training, you do need schedule agenda, and you do need contest material. And as we've experienced is that the more high level, the more people in tracking of everything that you need, contestants, helpers, the club affiliation and the educational tracking that you need to do, you need to have a sheet that is a planning sheet that is shared with all your planning team members so that they're aware of what is happening and what is lacking, so you can pitch in and you can get people to help you out. And of course, with timing, the more contestants you need more time constraint, you can schedule, you may even have to schedule 2 or 3 sessions to help train up all of the contestants to make sure that the equipment's up to snuff, or the speaking area. You kind of have to do that on whenever that they're available to do so, and to do a number of them. Of course, tracking them is important too. Having we have sample agendas on that the virtual contest webpage, the resource, and you can use that. We'll be updating those as we provide, as we have used even better versions for the district contest, and I'm sure that we can take a look into whether we need to update those to reflect the best practices. For needs of evaluation contests, you do need target speakers. And if anything, that one of the tips I would share with you is that the certain qualities of target speaker you need to get. But do go and find target speakers not within your area. And because now that we are a virtual setting, you can find target speakers anywhere. Any Toastmasters target speaker anywhere, hint, hint. Also, with evaluation contest, you need to use the Zoom breakout room to monitor contestant. That's something that we need to take a look into figuring out how to do it. And that's what we can use it to train your SAA and other contest officials. Well, contest material that is available on that virtual contest resource page. All of these are now available in either Microsoft Word, Google Docs. And you can use this to sort of think ahead as in if you're a linear person, okay, so who are how many contestants, who do I need to put in to start at what time, and who is up next? If you plan that way, they are up there already for your help. And I'm sure that if with the more experienced members, they also have the agenda with time, so you can actually help you with the figuring out what time should you start the contest, in the evenings, or I guess some contests do start in the weekends. There's something to think about. If you need to, you may want to announce some changes at the end by the contest Toastmasters. We do have scripts. We do have scripts that we have used for this is what I posted is the district version. What's posted is for division contests, and they can be tweaked to use for area contests. I'm sure that we have something I'm sure that you can be tailored because they're also in the Microsoft Word as well. Some of the material right now, at least in the past contests, I haven't care specifically when it's virtual. It'll be nice if you can print out the evaluation contest notes you're supposed to in person. Is that don't bring your own paper, is that I frown on doing that. But in a virtual setting, the SAA collects them by asking the contestants to fill them up and hold them in front of the camera in the breakout room. after 5 minutes is called to ensure fairness to all the contestants as they're called out. All these material is available. I am happy to report that Toastmasters International heed the call. All of these forms are listed. They are fillable PDFs. And what I mean by that is that if you have any Adobe Acrobat or equivalent software that supports a form filling function, you can fill them in. And if you want to work them on a, say, for example, computing devices such as a laptop or a desktop, I know that a lot of you guys are using phone to access the contest, but it'll be the easiest to do it is save it to the PDF file and attach an email if you need to send any of these things to and from the contestants and the contest chairs. That's even better news. For those who have not looked at the contest, some of these things are already converted by District 57, thanks to Kevin and Beth, into Google Forms and Google Sheets and supporting the contest. So they are live and they can be out of the way. At least at this point, we're still looking into seeing if there's a way to improve them. But right now, we're not changing the way that we've been doing. What worked had worked, and we will. I'll take a look in the text to see if there's any better way of doing things. So now with them out of the way, with these things that you can just use these 5 forms, and I'll show you what these 5 forms are that you really need at this point in time at the district. You can electronically fill these out and check out the boxes. So in essence, that if you participate in both contest evaluation and ISC, you just fill one out and save it and send it back to the contest chair. And we'll vet you, the contestant. And for contestants, the profile, some of you don't think that too much about it, but the contest Toastmasters use that for the speaker interview. So ask your contestants to fill it out. For chief judge, I did that, and I think Beth will recall that I filled it out electronically after we tally the votes and figure out the results, and I fill them out and I saved it and I print the PDF and I emailed to her to be official, because that helps to prevent any mistakes made during the counting process or even reporting process. So at least I think that that's a way to guard against it. At the end of the contest chair used the form to notify winner towards to the next contest chair. All of these things again are fillable and very easy. And icing on the cake, you can do that. If you want to learn how to do that, you can practice it too. All these, by the way, these are the latest the certificates that are available right now. But of course, make sure you put in the right person's name and the placement. Okay. The most important part, I'm sure the Hans will be doing a better job into presenting things about the contest. There are rules to contests. There's some very important rules to contest. And he'll have some scenario to talk to you about. So let me welcome Hans with the rules as the chief judge of the District 57 Toastmasters.
Thank you, Wing. Welcome, everyone. We're going to have some fun going through these slides. Let me make sure I have control. Bet, can I take over?
So I actually just was having Wing share, and if you.
Okay, well, I can share mine too.
Yeah, go ahead. That way you can.
Yeah, mine is ready to share.
All right. Go ahead and share.
Okay, let me take care of that. Oh, here it is. Okay, well, good afternoon or good morning, everyone. Actually, still morning, but it's so beautiful out. I thought it was the afternoon. We are going to give you some tips for those of you who are area directors and division directors. You're going to be overseeing these contests. We want to make sure they're run fairly. These slides are all about running the contest by the rules. Why is that important? First of all, gosh, it is not letting me advance the slides. I don't understand that part. Does anyone know the arrow keys do not work?
Try
Is it-
just clicking with your mouse in the middle. Does that work?
Okay, let me try. Yeah, here we go.
Cool.
Why are rules so important? We're Toastmasters, and one of our cultural aspects is that we have integrity. We have respect for each other, and we follow a tradition of service and excellence. Secondly, and this applies to any volunteer organization, if you want people to dedicate their time to anything, they need to feel like there's some kind of formal structure behind it. And that goes for your club meetings as well. If a guest shows up, they don't see any structure, they probably won't join. And finally, members need to feel there's equal opportunity. So the people who do the best speeches, they should be the ones who receive the award. Next, the first aspect of any rule for a contest is what kind of people can compete. First, the club that they come from must be in good standing. That means they must be paid up with more than 8 or more members for that dues cycle. Secondly, the contestant must be eligible. They must be a paid member. If they are competing in the speech contest, they need to have completed level 1 and 2 in pathways or the first 6 speeches of the CC manual. The one exemption is if they were a charter member of a club that launched less than 1 year before the contest. Then we will allow them to forego that requirement. And finally, this is important. If you're a contestant, you have to maintain your eligibility. You have to maintain your paid membership through the contest season. Make sure your money is in by April 1st and that your treasurer submits that money. If not, you're out of luck. What if you're an area director, what should you do these next couple of weeks? Number one, motivate your clubs, get those members through those first 2 levels of pathways in the next couple months. They might want to compete, help them do that. Remember that if they want to be an evaluator, they can do that without that pathways requirement. Let me repeat that. If they want to compete as an evaluator, there is no educational requirement. Great for new members. Second bullet point, contestants must remain paid. Actually, I already covered that. Just make sure your clubs submit the money on time on April 1st. Next slide. There is a tool that is very helpful for you. It's called the eligibility checker. This portal allows you to verify that someone is a paid member. Now, you're still going to need to verify that they have their pathways level 1 and 2 completed if they're competing in the speech contest. That's a separate process. Another implication if you're an area director is that you should tell your clubs that even if they decide not to have a contest, they can still nominate people. In fact, members can nominate themselves. That's the beauty of this contest. Please tell your presidents and your VPEs to spread the word and encourage people to start thinking about this. Maybe nominate themselves. Next, think about how many people you're going to send to the contest. Normally, we only sent the first place winner to the next contest. However, there's an exception. If you're an area director and your area has 4 or fewer clubs, they are allowed to send their first and second place winners to the area contest. Similarly, if a division has 4 or fewer areas, they are allowed to send 2 people to the division contest. Effectively, that's going to enlarge each contest, but we think it'll make for a better time. Another thing I'd like to mention is that many of you belong to several clubs, multiple clubs. You can compete in all of those contests. However, you can only compete in one area contest. Even if another area is in a separate district entirely, you cannot compete in more than one area contest. Additionally, some details here, speech must be substantially original. You probably already know that. A contestant cannot pre-record their performance in advance. Has to be live. You can also not mention the previous speaker, even to say, hey, that was a great speech. It's not allowed. And finally, make sure they understand the timing starts upon the first word or the first gesture. Props. Many of you like to use props. Many of you like to share your screens or use any kind of visual aid. You need to make sure it works. Some judges might be viewing your performance on a phone or an iPad, in which it might restrict or cut off some of your visual aid. You want to verify that it works. Let's talk a bit about people who actually cannot compete. And that includes you, area directors and division directors. Unfortunately, anyone classified as a district officer cannot compete. That also includes people who are actively campaigning for those types of positions. Additionally, the third bullet point here is saying that you can compete and serve as some kind of contest official, but not at the same contest. You can't speak and serve as a ballot counter or judge. That would not make sense. And finally, last bullet, judges who at any contest higher than the club level cannot compete. I'd like to talk a bit, real briefly, about what exactly is the difference between all these judges. We have chief judge, voting judges, and a tie-breaking judge. Well, the chief judge doesn't actually judge. They supervise their team. They conduct the judge's briefing. You've probably seen or heard one of those before. They ensure all the balloting and the timing is correct. And they deliver the winners to the contest chair at the end. Judges collect and inspect those ballots and tally sheets. They want to make sure they hold on to them until all winners have been announced, in case there are any misunderstandings. Then destroy them, not before. Because remember, those items are considered confidential, but they are important to keep until the winners have been announced. A few minutes ago, we talked about who can compete in the contest. Let's now talk about who can actually be a judge. This slide lays out the qualifications for a judge. Most of you know this, it's pretty similar. Let's move forward. This slide will give you a breakdown of how many judges you need. You need 5 at a club contest, you need 5 minimum at an area contest, or 7 minimum at a division contest. And please note the bullet points I have on this slide talking about equal representation. You see that text highlighted in red. It's talking about the fact that you want each club to be treated fairly. So if you're running an area contest and you have a judge that belongs to one of those clubs, you want to get a judge from all your other clubs, or else that's not good. Moving on. Should judges remain anonymous? Of course. You should take care not to add their name on any kind of printed material or electronic material, such as the contest agenda. Also, do not include them on an email list unless you're using blind copy, BCC. At the end of the contest, do not publicly thank them. They're supposed to remain anonymous. There is a tie-breaking judge that remains secret to everyone except for the chief judge. They are only utilized if there needs to be a tie broken. Next couple minutes, I'm going to give you some excellent resources for you area directors and division directors to get all the paperwork and information you need. I can't emphasize this enough. District 57 has done a fantastic job more than a year ago with a page on their site that details every single helpful document or video for every single contest role. For example, let's say you're a ballot counter and you've never done that before. There is a video on this site. There is a training page talking about how to perform your role. Excellent. Make sure to bookmark this page. A few minutes ago, Wing mentioned the contest rule book. Here is a screenshot of it. It is the ultimate resource for all the contest rules. I've tried to highlight most of the important ones, but if you need some backup, that's your go-to guide. And finally, here's 3 other sources. I'm not going to spend any time on these. Wing, I think it is time to go over what are the top 5 do's and don'ts for running a contest. Wing, are you still with me?
Thank you, Hans. Is everyone able to see the top 5 do's and top 5 do not tips in the Q&A? Are you seeing the slide?
Yeah,
Just want to make sure. Okay, thank you. Here is part of the District 57.6, and this is what we've learned. Do not assume that, oh, the flip side is do not assume that your contest officials know what they're doing. So they have to show what they know. And make sure you ask questions during the prep session, not during the contest. That is not the thing to do. Also, do not allow non-qualified contestants to compete. Disqualification that harms the whole process. And also that, don't forget the Toastmasters respect, integrity, service, and excellent values. Do not allow judges to use non-standard voting. We have worked out a process that works. Until we come out with something else better, I guess right now, Toastmaster does provide a certain way of doing it, snapping pictures, but really if tech fail, as in your Google form, your Google Sheets that we have been using fail somehow. And make sure that the judges are able to hand and all your team, the timer and the ballot counters know what they're doing doing the training sessions. And absolutely do not rush to announce the wrong results. And right now we're virtual. Go take a break, go get a drink, grab a bite, or even use it market. Make sure you have time for marketing so that if something goes wrong, you can have time and there's no dead air in the background. and do not allow anyone to protest the result of protest. And the rule book spells out who can protest and on what grounds. Hans mentioned that's a new thing that can be protest. The mentioning of a previous contestant's content is now grounds for the protest. So take a look at the rule change, and that's where it is. Q&A, I guess, to put in the text, but right now what I can say is that whatever we're doing for the contest, the Google Sheets and Google Form, that's what we're still using right now. We send out Google Sheets for judges to tally. Ultimately, the chief judge and the ballot counters only care about the placement. First place, third place, and second place, the tiebreaker judges will be all the rankings of the tie-breaking judge if needed. But that's what is really needed on the background for the judges. You can also take a look at the chat for those who can take a look at the chat for some of the comments that's out there for the best practices. We can possibly tabulate some of the best practices, and since the time is limited, this is just a primer on what you can do with a contest. There's so much potential, but there are also things to learn, and we have learned, and we offer the opportunity to help you, your area, and your division to help make this a fantastic year of excellence. With that, I hand this back to the Bet and the team.
Thank you so much. And with that, thank you all. Don't forget that your area reports are due by the end of the month. If you do not have them, there's no chance for you to be distinguished. It doesn't matter if you started 5 clubs and every one of them was distinguished, you will not be distinguished. So it is so critical that you put in your reports. It goes into toastmasters.org. Do not email it to me because that doesn't matter. It doesn't count. Please do not miss the opportunity to be distinguished. Make sure you submit your reports. It is that easy. If you don't know a question, just put NA or information not received. It doesn't have to be 100% filled out. Just put like NA or I don't know, the club didn't get back with me. So please remember, perfect is the enemy of done. And now with that, Ed, can you please open the breakouts? See you guys all on December deck.
All right.
Happy Thanksgiving. So click the accept on the breakouts. Is it working? Okay, yes, I see it working.
Unfortunately, Donica is in a breakout by herself.
All right, well, don't.
We may have to join her.
She can come back. She can come back. Yeah, so Wing, various folks went over earlier, and so therefore you ran out of, it wasn't your fault that you ran out of time.
So Bet, the people I don't have assignments for are Kathy Taylor, and Joanne Bradley, and of course Hans, George, yourself, Mona, Linda, and Julie, of course. Oh, and you're there twice.
I am there twice.
Ed, maybe you can just sneak me into one of these breakouts to see if anyone has any questions.
Certainly. What breakout would you like to go to?
How about my division, Division F?
Okay.
And then let's see.
So Hans,
I'll exit after a couple minutes.
Yeah. 1 second, Hans. I think the thing right now is just to make sure the website is updated with all of this information, because it's kind of like a fire hose. And I think you guys did a great job, but it is a fire hose. And I think we have to remember that people really don't retain as much information as we would all like. So just make sure that we get the website updated with all these rules and good things. And let's link to your slides. I think these are fantastic slides. I love it.
When you say website updated, do you mean the page about virtual speech training?
Yeah, all of that. And someone asked about tech host training. Let's make sure we have that link. I looked on the website just now and I couldn't find it.
I don't
So-
know if, I don't think that exists.
Okay. All right.
I don't think
Maybe we
anyone.
need to work with our good friend David Dye as our tech host chair to maybe.
Yeah, yeah, maybe David and also James. James might be able to help.
I wonder if David recorded that last